Hello and welcome to Alter Ego Nights, the love line with all the right responses to your romantic queries, provided your romantic queries are related to this week's comic books. I'm your host Josh. Marc is off gallivanting about, as owners are wont to do. I believe he's on his way to San Diego Comic-Con, which is totally not where I wanted to go this week. But anyway, we're here as always, or I'm here as always, to bring you the best comics this week. And the top of my stack, my pick of the week, is Star Wars number 21, written by Jason Aaron, with art by Jorge Molina. George. His name's George. And Star Wars has been great from issue 1, but what I think I really like most about the series is the way Aaron has embraced the breadth of the Star Wars universe. The core series are usually about the main cast, Han and Luke and Leia, the original trilogy folk. And the really standout issues are the ones where he kind of strays from that and explores other corners of the universe. Because I've read, literally thousands of pages of comics and novels and other things about Luke and Leia and Han, and I know a lot about them. They're not, there are only so many things you can do with those characters, so it's great when he gets the chance to explore other characters, which is exactly what we get this issue. This issue, we're introduced to an elite Stormtrooper squad, and some of the characters within it, their motivations, we get some of their backstory, and it's great. It's awesome military sci-fi. It does an excellent job of making Stormtroopers, who are generally seem to be bad and ineffective, seem awesome and kick-ass and actually understandable. You understand their motivations, you see where they're coming from, you see how easy it is to be part of a giant evil machine slowly crushing the life out of the galaxy. And I swear to God, it's actually fun, even though it's about murder and evil. So Star Wars is just top notch. Also out this week was Darth Vader, issue 23. Vader's winding down. It's going to be over at issue 25, but Gillen is really bringing it for this last arc, and I'm super excited. If you haven't checked it out, you totally should. Pick them up and trade. On the DC Rebirth front, we've got Hellblazer number 1, written by Simon Oliver, with art by Moritat. I like that he only has one name. I don't have to remember another one. I can just read the credit. Good on you, Moritat. But this picks up everyone's favorite magical, mystical con man, John Constantine. It makes reference and sort of acknowledges the things that were happening in the previous Constantine book, but you don't need to have read any of that. In fact, I dropped out of that book fairly early in the run, and I still followed it without any issues. And it's a lot of fun. The sort of the essence of John Constantine is, that beautiful bastard. He's willing to do anything and trick people who shouldn't be tricked. The dirtiest, the lowest demon or the highest demon, the worst con man, they can all get outdone by John Constantine. And this one kicks off with a great kind of done-in-one heist, con, whatever. John makes a deal with dark forces and, as always, comes out the better, probably at the cost of his soul, or at the cost of usually it's other people's souls when John's involved. But it feels like Oliver's got a great handle on Constantine, and I'm excited for what they're going to keep doing with it in Rebirth. So it's great to see that even the fringe characters in the DC Universe are getting strong Rebirth relaunches. Over on Dark Horse side, we've got Black Hammer, written by Jeff Lemire, with art by Dean Ormston. Dean Ormston. Hi, Dean. This is very cool. It's sort of it's like if the Justice League got sucked into another dimension and had to live a life in a pocket, kind of. They can't really reveal themselves or use their powers. They have to kind of live like a family, and the Justice League is super awesome at punching people and being lords of the sea and computers or whatever it is Cyborg does, but they're not really fully functioning people. I mean they are, and they have lives, but their personalities that mesh really well in battle wouldn't necessarily hold up to being trapped in the Big Brother house, which is almost what we're getting here. We've got a kind of Adam Strange analog rocket spaceman scientist who's sort of phasing in and out of reality and getting older and not necessarily remembering as much as he used to, kind of slipping in his old age and in his dematerializations. It's cool. The family, or the team, has been trapped in this small town for a decade, away from a completely different world, different reality than they're from. And some of them have been changed. Some of them, one of the characters is trapped in the body of a child of a 9-year-old girl. And other things are a little different, so they're not necessarily operating at full capacity, but it's just really interesting to see the interpersonal relationships between them, to see kind of classic superhero archetypes tilted just a few degrees to the left and put in situations that we will never let DC will never let us see them in with the main versions. So I'm super excited about this, and we're also getting teased at the end of the issue that back in their dimension, time has passed as well, and some people might still believe that they're out there. Somebody might be looking for them. So really great. Jeff Lemire is sort of the king of fringe superhero stuff. He was just doing a great job on Plutona, which was really only sort of a superhero story. And of course, his run on on Moon Knight has been really great over at Marvel. So he's great at sort of the odder, weirder side of the superhero genre. And speaking of the weirder side of everything, we've got Snotgirl, written by Brian Lee O'Malley, who you may remember from such books as Scott Pilgrim. Okay, really just Scott Pilgrim. He's done a couple other graphic novels that were quite good, but Scott Pilgrim is the 800-pound gorilla. With art by Leslie Hung, and this was not exactly what I was expecting. The title Snotgirl is not going to win any... It's not a great title, except maybe it is after you've read the issue. It's it's kind of like Sex Criminals. Like, nobody wants to be seen reading a book that's called Sex Criminals, except once you read it, you kind of do want to be seen reading it because it's awesome. And Snotgirl is a lot like that. It's not like Sex Criminals. It's totally PG. It's about a girl who's a professional fashion blogger. At least I assume that's her profession. That's the only way she identifies herself, and that's the only thing we see her do, so I think that's her job. And she's sort of superficial and putting down on other people. Her online presence is sort of just so, and everything's carefully crafted to make her appear fashionable and interesting and pretty. And in real life, her life is a freaking mess. And it's a very interesting character study. It has a lot to say about friendship in the age of social media, about people, about identity in a time when you can so carefully craft what most people see about you. And then towards the end of the book, we get sort of a 180. She's got allergies and is taking some experimental medication. The allergies get her the nickname Snot Girl from Snot, I guess. I don't suffer from allergies, but I hear that's a thing. We'll get Mark to weigh in on it when he gets back. But O'Malley's brought something really interesting to the table, and I don't know. I don't know. He's never done anything quite like this, and it was quite good, and I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. And bringing back a golden oldie, Betty and Veronica from the Archieverse. This is written and drawn by Adam Hughes. That's right, not just the cover. Every page inside is drawn by Adam Hughes, which leads this reporter to believe that the book will not make it past issue 3. But that's neither here nor there. Hughes is not known for his writings. He is known for his drawings, and specifically his covers of Pretty Ladies. And he certainly delivers on that count. But the writing is actually better than I expected. There's a lot of interesting wordplay. There's some neat plot devices. A lot of the book is actually narrated by Jughead's dog, which is kind of fun. The overarching plot is Pop's Diner, which is sort of the headquarters of the Archieverse, is closing down. It's being bought out by a big corporate coffee company, and of course the Archies will not let this stand. And yeah, it was actually good. I kind of feel dirty for liking an Adam Hughes written book, but there it is. Normally I just feel dirty for looking at Adam Hughes covers. But Betty and Veronica is actually good. I swear to God, it's good. I don't understand the world anymore, I guess is what I'm getting at. Back on the DC wagon, we've got Batgirl and the Birds of Prey Rebirth. This is the kickoff one-shot. Then both Batgirl and Batgirl and the Birds of Prey will have first issues forthcoming. Co-written by Julie and Shauna Benson with art by Claire Rowe. And this was actually really better than I thought it was going to be. It did a good job because you've got Babs has been running around as the Batgirl of Burnside. Black Canary's been running off with her band. Huntress, not Valerie Bertinelli, Helena Bertinelli, has been off with Dick Grayson as one of the agents of Spiral. Job of establishing the status quo of the universe, kind of telling us exactly where the lines fall between the original universe, the New 52, not the original universe, the pre-New 52 universe, the 52 universe, and the current iteration, which is almost identical to the 50 universe so far. And we get stuff from all three characters. We see where they're at. They get them together. Maybe not necessarily in the way I expected, but it was good. It acknowledged the classic legacy of these characters. Some of the best DC comics ever told is Gail Simone's Birds of Prey. So it's awesome to see them back together, and it's just exciting to have another shot at this to see if maybe we can get it right again. We should be so lucky if they can keep it going. And not my pick of the week, but maybe my favorite book of the week, the book that made me smile the most, maybe the happiest, was over from Marvel, All New Wolverine 10, a Civil War II tie-in, written by Tom Taylor with art by Ig Guerrera. And if you've been following this at all, or just looked at the cover, I guess, we've got Old Man Logan, the aged Wolverine from an alternate timeline and dimension future thing, with X-23 and, of course, X-23's clone. So you've got an alternate time-lopped Wolverine and our Wolverine's clone, and then a clone of a clone, and then there's also an actual Wolverine. And I swear it's actually good, even though that sounds ridiculous now that I'm saying it out loud. But there are some laugh-out-loud moments in this book. We get some great interaction between Old Man Logan. I love Wolverine, and I really like the Old Man Logan interpretation of him, but seeing him do stuff like this is really my bread and butter. It's what I want. I want the connection to the universe that we sometimes miss without the old original, without our Wolverine. And this is a Civil War II tie-in. We've got Ulysses making a prediction relating to the Wolverines. And I think what this issue does, more than anything, is point out to me what's really brilliant about Civil War II. Kind of in the same way that Secret Wars was. The fundamental premise that this kid sees a vision and then someone has to act on that information. That information's out there whether it gets acted on or not. It allows you to tell any story you want. You can pick any two characters in the Marvel Universe, and if you pick the right vision for Ulysses to have, you have a legitimate reason for those two characters to come together and for there to be a conflict between them. There's nobody that can't be put together. So it's like the ultimate team-up motivator, or punching motivator, the ultimate conflict machine. And it's just great. Civil War II took a lot of hits from critics early on when it was starting, but I think the main book is actually great, and a lot of the tie-ins and a lot of the splashdown that it's causing in the rest of the universe is really, really good. So, Tom Taylor is always awesome at everything he does, but every issue of All New Wolverine has been good. So if you've been holding out on it, check out these, especially if you've been reading Old Man Logan. I think you'll enjoy them. And last up this week, we've got two from the graphic novel stack. We've got Mark Millar's Huck from Image Comics, drawn by Raphael Albuquerque. And this is a book that Mark and I raved about, I think, every single issue. It's sort of the story of a simple Superman, guy who's just trying to do the right thing and has, some special abilities above and beyond a normal person, and what it's like to live that life, and what it's like when that life is exposed to our modern world, which is, let's be honest, awful. Our world's just terrible, and it destroys everything. And it's heartbreaking and wonderful to watch what happens to Huck in that world. So it is just top notch. I actually got very happy when we checked these in, because it's got a number 1 on the spine, which implies that there might be more someday, which makes me super happy. This is maybe the best overall book Mark Millar's ever written, and Albuquerque's art is top notch. It's just the whole package. It's everything you want in a comic, and also everything I wanted in a comic 15 years ago. We finally have a new edition of Kevin Smith's Green Arrow. This is Kevin Smith's entire run from the late 90s, early 2000 era. and when he brought Ollie back from the dead, and it's great. If you've never read it, you should absolutely check it out. It is probably one of the top 5 Green Arrow stories ever told. Matter of fact, I know it is because it was on our list of top 5 Green Arrow stories ever told. But this gives us the original Quiver story arc, and then the follow-up Sounds of Violence, all in one volume. That's something like 15 issues of Green Arrow for $24.99. It is the best. If you love Kevin Smith movies, if you like Green Arrow, if you like superheroes the way they were meant to be done, this is for you. Kevin Smith's Green Arrow is the best of the best. So I think that's all for us this week. Next week we will be back with something. Who knows what exactly, but something will come to you. So have a good week. Follow all the Comic-Con coverage, and give good thoughts to Mark as he travels, or bad thoughts if you wish that you were at Comic-Con instead of him. That's something I couldn't possibly imagine feeling. But thanks for watching. If you like the show, give us a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I will, maybe read them.